Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Jing TV. Today we're going to be talking about a very special aspect of building your business, which is design. And we've got Andrew Diney in the studio to help us out. So welcome everybody to this week's episode of Jing TV, which is mainly going to be the wonderful wisdom of Master Andrew Diney on my left here. So I'm going to introduce him and then I'm going to let him do a lot of the talking because he knows a lot more about this topic than us. So Andrew is a graphic designer of many, many years and a very old friend of mine, and he is he's very young, but we've been friends for a long time. And he has pioneered the Jing brand, all the design that you see in Jing, as well as, you know, many other clever things which he'll tell you about as well.
He's an award-winning designer.
He's an award-winning designer.
And has a great company called Soft Octopus.
Yeah.
And you can find his website, which I'm sure he'll tell you all about.
Softoctopus.co.uk.
And he has an award-winning shirt there, with the like of which had never been seen before. So over to you, Andrew.
Design is important to your business. It's how people judge your business initially. It's that old cliche about people judging a book by its cover.
Yeah.
And design is everywhere. It's on your Facebook page. It's your little Twitter icon. It's your website. It's your business card. It's all of those things. It's the t-shirts that you wear.
It is.
So people will judge you on it. So get help if you need help. And by that I mean if you're not a designer, don't design your own logo.
And I think that's quite important, isn't it? Because I think because as solo entrepreneurs, which massage therapists are, we kind of want to do everything ourselves. So we want to do the design, we want to build the business.
And I think it's important that you are involved in the process, but it's also important for you to understand when, this isn't my specialty.
No, exactly.
So
Getting an expert in.
Yeah, and it's not all about, I have to make the decisions because I'm the designer. Because any good designer will work hand in hand with the client and come up with something that works.
Sometimes you must have to do things that you don't like so much, Andrew.
Often.
Never with
Never
us.
for you.
No,
never. But it's also about not overthinking it as well.
Yeah.
I think initially when people think of a logo, with massage particularly, lots of people have hands
and lavender.
There's lots of visual cliches, and with Jing, we never went for that, did we? We always wanted it to be very, very simple. And, simple is actually harder to design than doing the cliches. Because the things that come to mind instantly are the easy things.
And I also think it's worth saying that working with a graphic designer does not have to be an expensive process. I mean, certainly when we started out,
you were paying me in chocolate.
We were paying you in chocolate pretty much. You can barter your services, you can do an exchange, which you did for Andrew. But I'd really encourage you to think of it as an investment. So if you work properly with a graphic designer, then that does not have to be an expensive process, and they will be able to translate your ideas into something.
I, however, feel quite strongly that actually it's better to pay for those services. So, although that, is true, we kind of go between both things, that when you're starting out, if you want to work with somebody professionally, it's actually much better to pay them their professional rate, so then you can start to say, well, actually I don't like this or I don't like that. Whereas if you get involved a bit in a trade with friends, then sometimes it's a little hard for you.
Get a bit messy.
And for you start to feel like it's being done for a favor. So I would say if you can do it, pay for it and you'll get what you pay for.
I'd agree with that. I think as well, getting it right is so important because this is something that you're probably not going to change very often once you've got your logo in place.
You've been very good about keeping us online because I want to change things all the time.
Every 2 weeks.
And there's a big temptation with that because you do feel like, we've had that for a long time, but people will recognise your business by your brand. So don't keep changing it. The logos and the companies that are respected are generally the ones that have kept their identity or have only tweaked it slightly.
I mean, Coca-Cola, like this. How long have they had that logo?
Exactly. Or BBC or Apple. They've changed their logos, but they haven't reinvented themselves. And I think that design has to evolve, as yours has actually. We have gone through iterations of logos, but we haven't radically changed it
Mm-hmm.
yet. And so getting it right at the start is really important, and that's about communicating with your designer as well, and having that conversation about, you know, what are your aspirations, and what you like and what you don't.
What do you think about people going out and kind of doing a couple designs and putting it out to client base? So what do you think? Because that's almost sometimes too much opinion. I don't know.
Well, exactly. You can get too many answers sometimes, and you end up not knowing where to go with that. It can go both ways. I think sometimes if you've got a good designer, they can get it right for you, and you don't necessarily need to get that feedback. But if you're unsure about that and you feel like you need that reassurance, then using social media is a great way of getting feedback.
And can you just maybe talk briefly about how people should work with a graphic designer? Because I think sometimes people don't understand the process of what they can expect and how that dialogue goes, because it is about communication, isn't it?
It is, and it's about solving a design. Design is about problems and solving them. So the client comes and says, I am this person, I have this business, how should we visually look?
Yeah.
And any good designer will be able to interpret that and come back with probably a lot more questions, which is frustrating, because you're paying for someone for a solution, but those questions will eventually lead to the right answer. It's called briefing, really. You brief the designer, you tell them what their problems are, and they will solve them for you.
And sometimes find things that you like and say, well, these are a couple of things, and they might not be in your field.
No.
So you could pick up leaflets and different stuff and say, these are the things that are really appeal to me. And also, I think one of the key things that you've been really good about helping us with is understanding that when you build your brand, what that's communicating to the public. So, with massage therapy, for instance, all these cliches around flowers and pretty things, that's actually not wrong if that's the kind of practice you want to put out there. If you're doing something that's about stretching and really muscles, then those are the kind of things that you put out there with right angles, anyway, all of that stuff. So check out our wonderful design. We have to bring it to an end at www.jingmassage.com, or you can check out Andrew at
softoctopus.co.uk.
Great. Both of us are on Twitter and Facebook, so you can get into the dialogue then. Or you can also have a little bit of Jing at home at www.jingmassage.com/shop. All right. We'll see you next time.